Hi, I'm Aaron Power. I was a head coach for the CUC Junior Open team this past summer, Newfoundland's first boys team that traveled to CUCs in Ottawa this summer. In previous years, we had several players who traveled to CUCs, but they combined with other teams in order to play at the national tournament.
Yeah, I attended CUCs last year, and I also went to nationals for other sports. And CUCs is always fun. It's always exciting, and there's like a certain level of passion that it brings with it. That's an amazing experience.
Matt Canes. I went to Holy Heart, just graduated, so I'm going to Munn this year. I played cutter for Storm this year.
Sweet.
Frisbees, it was genuinely quite impressive in the fact that most other tournaments like hockey and stuff, they're rather hostile when you're talking like in terms of how teams behave around one another. But it was extremely welcoming. Like I remember when we would have supper and stuff, we'd either be sitting around other teams or after we'd end up going talking to other teams, or just at the field, you know, you're talking to guys that you've never met before from different corners of the country, but everyone sort of acknowledges that they're there for the same purpose, either just to play, to have fun, to meet new people. So it was really, really upbringing, really welcoming, just to know that it's not like a really hardcore, well, obviously it was hardcore, it was a really, really tough tournament, but that all the guys were on the same level of wanting to just be good people. I've talked about it a bit. My favorite moment, well, my personal one was in our first game, scoring our first point, because that was kind of special just to be the first guy from the province to score the first goal for the first provincial team ever. So that's kind of a little bit of a historic thing. It was kind of good too because we were down 5-0 at the time, so just a bit of a spark just to get everyone going, because we ended up putting up 8-10 points that game, which was kind of nice.
Favorite moment would probably be opening ceremonies, because to carry the flag and walk with the team, and we also rocked the number 2s on our arms for a player that couldn't make the tournament, and that was pretty special to me. I know the team were very supportive, and that was a good experience.
The most challenging aspect of the tournament was that we had a roster with 14 guys, which is the minimum to go to CUCs. That limited us to having 2 lines. And, you know, as we played more games throughout the tournament, we were scheduled for 7 games, you could see that, you know, fatigue became an issue. Most of the other teams at the tournament had 21 players minimum, which is 3 lines, and they were able to have more fresh legs in there. They were able to change around their lines, you know, and they could give them that extra little boost when our guys were getting a little more tired. And it also just gave them a chance to mix things up a little bit more, whereas we primarily had 2 lines that played, you know, one on and then the next one throughout the whole tournament. I think one of my favorite moments that happened at CUCs was actually off the field, and it was when we were on one of the shuttle rides to the UPI complex, which is about 30 minutes from Carleton where we were staying. And each day teams would be paired up with a different team, you know, based on the schedule, and it would change daily. It could be the team that you were going to play or the team that you just played. And on one particular bus ride in the morning, heading to the fields, you know, as happened quite often, one of the teams, it was the other team in this case, they put on some music, and you know, at first it was kind of, you know, some rap, some Drake, things like that. Not really my choice of music, but as they got towards the field, they started to put on, you know, I guess a little more light-hearted, fun music, some Katy Perry, and everyone was singing along and having a great time. And then the last song that they put on right before we got to the field, one of the players, I think it was from Ottawa Scorch team, you know, he put on a song. He said, "Guys, whatever happens, everybody has to sing to this song." And he put on "Let It Go" from the Disney musical Frozen, and of course all the guys and all the coaches started belting out "Let It Go" at the top of their lungs as we were pulling up to the fields. I think that was a really memorable moment from the tournament.
Cool. Maybe our game against Wildfire, because Wildfire was a higher ranked team. They were I think they were a 9-16 ranked team originally, but they dropped down this year. And I know my line, we held them to a 20-minute point at one point, which was pretty neat, just to note that we could frustrate some of the higher ranked teams. And I guess just know that if we keep pushing over the next couple of years, we can definitely move up from the 18 to 24 bracket if we really try.
The way the sport might have been, like around here, it's thought of as just a minor sport, like it's not as serious, but up there, you could tell there's a certain level of passion that everyone has for Ultimate, and just some of the teams are crazy for it, and I think someday Ultimate NL will be on that level as well.
I think the most impressive thing for me, well, it's probably two things actually. It was just, walking when we got off the bus and we arrived at the UPI complex, just seeing 19 fields in this huge complex that was dedicated to the sport of Ultimate. And it was really impressive to see how everything was set up, and just the number of people that were there organizing the tournament, the number of players who were there, and just saying, that amount of Ultimate. It was a huge community. And then once we got onto the fields and started playing, being a part of that community and seeing the high level of competition that was there, and also the high level of spirit between the teams, and just this really great atmosphere of Ultimate, and again of spirit of the game for Ultimate as well.